What's going on, guys? About 1.5 weeks out from the US Open, I'll have a vlog coming up for you guys pretty soon about the progress and where things are at. But I just want to take this second to kind of introduce the team that we have going on here at Team Phoenix Performance. Like I said in the last video, we're making a transition to more of a team dynamic and an educational setting for you guys. So we'll be providing you guys with a lot more content from all the coaches. So we have Desiree Morgan on staff. She is a strongman competitor, Highland Games competitor. She did some powerlifting. She's done some Olympic lifting. And then we also have Kaylee Klitzing on. She is a IFBB pro in the figure division and also a powerlifter in the 123 division. And then we have Ryan J. Stills. He is an IPF world champion, masters. He is actually looking to defend that title this year, or get that title back this year, sorry. And up in Calgary, competing in June, I believe. So those are the 4 coaches and myself that'll be bringing you guys a lot of new content. And without further ado, here's the first video from Ryan. It is on how to set up and pull conventional deadlifts. Pretty simple video. Some really good nuggets of knowledge in there, so make sure you guys check it out. Let us know what content you want as far as any videos that you guys want to see, instructional or nutritional or anything of that nature. Just let us know and we'll get that out for you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for all the new content we have coming out.
Oh, you're getting us to warm up anyhow. Hi, today we're going to go through my deadlift and preparation to how I deadlift. A couple things to start off with. One, I either use socks when I train, or I use a very low profile shoe. So there's a couple deadlift shoes that are out there, because I really like to be able to grip the ground. I'll make sure that my big toe, as I'm on the bottom of the deadlift, is really pushing into the ground. I feel that really allows me to activate my quads. You'll see a little bit more of that. Another thing, I wear my knee sleeves. So I prefer knee sleeves because I like the pressure behind my knee when I'm down in this position, and then the warmth that keeps on the joint. I also wear them for squatting. I do not wear wrist wraps because I changed over to a hook grip as opposed to a mixed grip. That was a personal preference for me based on the fact that I had some nerve issues in my traps. So I would, at times, my right hand would open up as I got over 720 pounds or so. I could pull one to be perfectly fine. Another day I could pull it, and as soon as I got to the top, it would just release. So I had to adjust to the hook grip. And actually, I'm going to do a video on a hook grip coming soon also. My belt. So I use a adjustable lever belt. Some people don't like belts. I think the difference between wearing a belt and not wearing a belt is really, first off, the style of lift that you have. For me, I like the pressure that I can build up, because I know at the bottom of my lift, the more pressure I build here, the more explosive I'm going to be coming out. Others will do things where they don't like that restriction on the bottom and they like to be able to get more flexibility. I've heard some people say that it really gets them cramped in their lats, so they cannot get that engagement that they want to get coming out of the hole. I prefer having the belt. Other things that we're going to look at is how to avoid overextension, which we'll talk a little bit about as we go on. Because what you do not want to do in a deadlift is get to a point to where you lock and then you get this overextension. A couple things happen with that. One, it tends to give you soft knees, so when you lock out here, you'll get a rebend here. Because if you don't, you're going to tip backwards. The other one is, as you start to do that, sometimes it'll look like you're having a ramp, or you're waiting it on there, which will give you red lights. So let's start off with get my belt on. I often put my belt on once I'm around 500 pounds. So for me, I guess that'd be in the 70% or so. I don't feel it necessary to wear your belt as you start to warm up, because you do want to warm up those lower back muscles and be able to brace without a belt. I think bracing is very important, and being able to brace without a belt really allows you to utilize the power of having the belt on there. So you don't need a belt to brace. It helps you to support and brace stronger, and that's what I've found. So, but for this, even though we have 135 pounds on here, I'm still going to utilize the belt so I can show you what that looks like. So I'll get my stance. Heels are slightly inside of shoulder width. This is comfortable for me. It allows me to get where I need to get to the bar without having any type of impingement. Now, when I get to the bottom though, I have my left foot, I will step back. The reason I do this is as I found I got bigger at about 120 kilos now, I compete at 120, is for me to get everything here tight, get my breath, get down with the size of my quads, my midsection, I'm not able to get really comfortably down here for a long duration of time, so I can't really set my hands and get it all set up like I want to. So what I do is I'll get my stance here, I'll drop my left leg back, which allows me to set in my hook here. So I get my hook grip set in here, I'll pull a little bit to make sure that it's tight and set. Then I'll get my breath back here, and as soon as I step into the bar, I'm gonna take off. So that pressure is built up and bracing in my core, and I'm gonna take off as soon as I step in. So here, and a good lock. Then I have a good lock. When I'm up top here, I'm not back here. I've got my lats locked behind me and my glutes locked behind me. I don't have to have this going on here, and I also want to make sure that I don't have this slumped shoulder. And a lot of that comes from how you take off on the bottom, which is why when I'm on the bottom and I get my hands locked in here and that step in, I make sure that when I come out of that initial pull, my glutes are tight and low. And low is relative. So you may look at it and say, they don't look like that much lower, but it's a difference, because if they're not to the point to where they are, it's gonna look more like a stiff leg deadlift. And then you're utilizing a lot of hamstrings out of the bottom, whereas I want to utilize my quads to push out of that initial gate. Also why I say with having my toe, being able to stab into the ground is a great cue. So once again, we'll watch here. Hands are in. Start to get a little bit of pressure on the front toe here, and then I'm gonna step in here, bracing. Big air. Step in, drop, explode. And then down with control. So I like the fact that I'm able to have a consistent method in my deadlift. And for me, that rhythm adds security. So knowing that every time I do the same thing, I'm gonna have less variance to failure. So I suggest that whatever your thing is, whatever rhythm that it is that you build, stay consistent with it and make it worthwhile. For me, I know that not everyone has the style that I have, but it works for me, and that's part of individualization. Also part of why getting a coach that can work with you to identify your individual specialties and individualities. We'll just cut this last part out. And I'll wait here, and I will finish with, and thank you.